based on the drawing, it looks like a large black letter I. And we have some dimensions. We included a sketch with our assignment, so you can take a look at that to get all the necessary dimensions. So the first thing I need to do is go ahead and create a sketch. So I'll do that by coming up here to the Create Sketch button. I then have my options as to which plane to put it on. Looking at the shape from the assignment, it appears that we're going to be able to draw the part by starting from the right side view. It'd be the easiest to create the part. So I'll click here, and the part will rotate. Again, suggestion is to always draw from the center of the part. So I'll start with a small rectangle, and I'll do a center rectangle. Start here in the center. Our part is 2.12 inches by 2.12 inches. Zoom in here a little bit. Okay, and now there's two small notches on the left and right hand side. The written instructions are a little bit vague, so students may interpret them either direction. It gives us a dimension of 0.38 wide and 0.5 deep. It's up to you as to how you want to interpret this. You won't lose credit for putting it, flip-flopping the dimensions. Okay, so I'll take a line here, and I'm going to come up here somewhere. All right, I'm going to click on the edge, and then I'm going to go across, and I want to avoid, I don't want to click on this diagonal line at all. This can cause a few problems. So I'll come back out here, and I'll go ahead with the 0.38 here. Okay. I'll do another line, and I'll start going down, and we want to go down 0.5. Right, and then I'll go back across to here. Okay, now this notch is not this high. It's actually lower to the bottom of the part. So I want to make sure we dimension that as well. So I need to add a dimension. I can just go here to Sketch, go all the way down to the bottom. It says Sketch Dimension. I'll click on the bottom of the part, and then I'll go up to this line. Oh, and that's on an angle. That's not good. So we'll need to zoom in here. It looks like this line is drawn on an angle. And that's not what we want. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'll go to Sketch Trim, delete that if I can. There we go. There we go. And I'll draw one more line. So I'll try that again. I'll click, and I'll draw straight across. So I corrected my error, and I'll zoom back out. And again, I'll go ahead, Sketch Dimension, click here, click that line, and now it looks a little bit better. And that number should be 0.81. That looks a lot better. Next thing I want to do is cut out part of this line so that this notch appears. Since it's that beige orange color, that means it's solid, and we obviously want this open. So I'll go to Sketch, Trim, and I'll click on this right here. And that opens it up. Now it's white. Okay. You need to do the same thing on the other side. You can either replicate the steps that I just did by drawing it out and dimensioning it, or you can do a mirror. Okay, so let's take a look at how to do a mirror. In order to mirror something, I need to have a mirror line. So I'll draw a line, and I'm going to start the line way up above the part, and I'm going to go down below the part and outside. All right, it blue down here. If you notice, I hover over it, turns blue, so I'll click on it so it stays nice, dark and bold blue. And what I need to do is I need to turn this into a construction line. And I do that by hovering over the line, right-click on your mouse, and go down to where it says Normal Construction. When I click on that, you'll notice it turns to like a mustardy yellow color, and it's now dashed. That is now a line that is just there for reference. It is not part of the drawing at all. All right, I'll go to Sketch, Mirror, and the first thing it says is Select Object. So I need to hold down the Control button, and I click on one line, two lines, and three lines. Those are the lines I would like to flip. And then I need to go over to my pop-up menu over here on the right-hand side. Notice that it says Mirror Line Select. So go ahead and click on that and go and click on that dash line that we just created a moment ago. It does flip over, but notice that it's not open, right? It's still that orangish beige color. We want to open that up. So first thing I'll do, my mirror is still active, so I'll say okay. All right, now I need to get rid of that little segment of that line. So I'll go to Sketch and Trim, and I'll notch that out again. Looks good. That's our block letter I. The sketch is now done. I can go up here to the top right corner. It says Stop Sketch. And it's sitting as a two-dimensional part right now. I'll go over here way up in the upper right-hand corner. There's a little house right here. Click on that. All right, and I've got my shape. Now I need to make this three-dimensional. So in order to do that, I come over here to where it says Create. I click on Extrude. I click on the profile that I want to extrude, and I give it a dimension. And ours is 3.75, so I'll just go over here to the box, 3.75. And there are some options here. Notice it says one-sided, or it says two sides, or it says symmetrical. Okay, obviously symmetrical makes it way too big. We can do two sides if we'd like to and give each side a dimension, or just leave it as one side and that'll be fine. Okay, so this is our part. This is what it looks like. All right, I can click my orbit button down here at the bottom of the screen, roll around and look at it. It looks pretty good. Come back up here and hit the house button when I'm done. And there's my part. We need to put this into a working drawing now. So I'll go to Model, and then scroll down to Drawing, and then go to From Design. So Model, Drawing, From Design. Pop-up menu comes up asking me to save it. Go ahead and save it. Ours is figure 541, right? 541. And we'll say save. This is also called a slide, so you could name it a slide if you would like. All right, so if I want to call that a slide, I could do that. All right, whichever method you prefer, just so you know how you saved it. A pop-up menu comes up. I want to create a new drawing from scratch. We're using the American Society of Manufacturing Engineers standards. My drawing's in inches, and it'll be put on an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. That's all fine. You can leave the defaults. If yours says ISO, that just means that you're using metric dimensions instead of standard. Say okay. Computer's going to go ahead and lay this out and put this into a drawing onto a nice sheet of paper with a title block for us. And it says to select your base view. Okay, so looks like my front view here. Now, this is very small for this large piece of paper. So I'm going to come over here to this pop-up menu. And the first thing I'll do is I'll say make it 1:1, make it a little bit larger. The rest of these options look pretty good right now, so I'll say okay. And there's my front view. We need to have a top view, a front view, a side view, and an isometric view. So this is my front view. I'll select it so it's highlighted blue. And I'll come up here where it says Drawing Views. And the second one in says Projected View. Click on that. And all I need to do now is just, I can move around. You can see different views pop up. Well, I need a top view. Locate it and click it. I need a side view. Locate it and click it. And I also need an isometric view over here. Click that. Once you've placed all your views, hit the Enter key. And we're almost done here. My top, front, and right side view look good. I have my hidden lines, the dash lines. I have my solid lines or object lines. Those all look great. But this isometric view, we want to clean this up a little bit. So what you'll do is double click on it, and your pop-up menu comes up. First thing I would do under Appearance, there's Style. I'd click on the shaded option. And this is quite large. It's taking up a big chunk of this corner. So I'm going to shrink it just a bit. I'm going to say 1:2. Okay. And it shrinks it just a bit. And I'll say close. It looks pretty good. Views are nicely spaced out, and we're ready to go. Last thing we need to do is fill out the title block. Depending on the version of Fusion that you have, this may be a series of clicks or just 1 or 2 clicks. If need be, just ask for help or just play around a little bit and try things out. So I hover over the title block right about on some of the text or on the edge of the title block, and I double click. My version, I receive a pop-up menu. And as I go through, you notice that there's some empty spaces. All right, my name is there, the date that I drew it in. Title, that's what I saved it as, that's slide. As I go down, there's a drawing number. This might be a good place to type in figure 5-41, which is the number of the drawing. Okay. The other thing I'd like to do is add a logo into this large area that's right here. Please find a school appropriate logo. Could be our school mascot, could be a favorite logo of yours, but just please school appropriate. And for my version of SketchUp, I have the insert image button right here. And I have a mascot folder, and I have several of our school mascots. I'll select the standard hawk logo with no writing. And I'll say open. And now it says place lower left corner. So I'm going to hover down here, and it might take a second because the image is trying to import into your drawing. So notice it almost looks like it's frozen, but it's fine. We'll figure this out in just a second. There we go. I located my lower left corner, but notice that the hawk is actually bigger than that area. It kind of overlaps, and we don't see the edge of the title block. So first I'm going to come up here and notice that there's a scale button now. All right, I can shrink this. 0.95 I think works pretty well. But it's still not in the middle of that box. So what I can do is I can do X distance, and I can just click, and now I start to see the edge of the title block. And then I can do the Y as well and have it hop up here a little bit. And that looks great. Okay. I'm done. Hit enter. We'd like you to turn this in as a PDF. Up here in the upper right-hand corner, there's a red icon that says PDF. Click on that. Say OK. Save it to wherever you would like, and then upload that to our Canvas page or whatever software we're using to collect homework. And that's the end of this drawing.